get the latest from the story that we've been following today, where the Competition Commission has approached the Constitutional Court for an appeal in the rand manipulation saga, where several banks were accused of conspiring to fix the exchange rate between the local currency, the rand, as well as the US dollar. The Constitutional Court is due to hear legal arguments over the next 4 days. And for more on this, let's cross live to our reporter, Liabo Setho, who was at this particular first sitting. Liabo, a very good afternoon to you. So in a nutshell, take us through today's first sitting outcomes from the Constitutional Court.
Hi, Alicia. So great to be chatting to you this afternoon. What a busy day. Started very early this morning, but as of 10 o'clock this morning, the legal representative of the Competition Commission, who has brought this case to the Constitutional Court, asking it to come to a different conclusion to what the Competition Appeals Court came to with regards to that rand collusion or rand fixing, whichever way you would like to refer to it, the case that has been in the news a lot, particularly today. Basically, the Competition Commission is asking the Constitutional Court to say, please come to a different conclusion to what the Competition's Appeals Court has come to, which has decided that, one, we do not have jurisdiction to prosecute banks that are outside of South Africa, and that some of the banks are actually not liable or are not implicated in any wrongdoing. Represented by Advocate Thembeka Toby and his team, they made a lot of impassioned pleas to the panel of judges here at the Constitutional Court, but first starting to help us, shape the lay of the land, as it were, by explaining how exactly these traders who were part of a chat room would collude, which include mostly sharing of information which is forbidden by competition law, because they were supposed to be or are supposed to be competitors and should not be sharing any information. The second part, right after tea, Advocate Toby also spoke to the panel of judges here at the Constitutional Court about the jurisdiction issue, which is the one issue we've been talking a lot about, Alicia, this morning. That has to do with whether the aspects or section of the Competition Act actually do allow the Competition Commission to go outside the borders of South Africa and prosecute those banks there. And that is where the second part was. And he also made a plea to the Constitutional Court to say, when you look at the damage that may have been done, according to the papers that he has deposed of here, we cannot say that what South Africans went through should be ignored simply because the banks or the entities involved are not in the South African perimeters, therefore asking them to not allow the mistake that was made twice by the Competition's Appeals Court to be carried through the third time. He emphasized in his last segment that the constitutional or the Competition's Appeals Court, I beg your pardon, had made this error twice of coming to a wrong conclusion, and is pleading with them to please come to a different conclusion. By the end of the session, Alicia, we saw the representative of the first respondent, which is the Bank of America, represented by Paul Farlam, Senior Counsel Paul Farlam, and he also had about 30 minutes. Unfortunately, we could not hear from when we were sitting, but we will be definitely going through all the papers that he has made in submission. But they were the first respondents to take the stand today and disposing of their submission. Tomorrow morning, the proceedings will continue at 10 a.m. sharply, with most likely the second respondent coming on board, and we will find out what is in their submission. But you can trust that here on the SABC News channel, we will be with you until it comes to an end on Friday. This case is taking place until then, and as you can see behind me, legal eagles preparing to go home after that first day. But yeah, we will have the rest for you on tomorrow morning here on the SABC News channel. Alicia.
A very quick one, Liabo. Since it's two entities here, it's both local as well as international banks, right? Now, in terms of the charges that have been put forward by the Commission, what exactly are they looking for in terms of rebates, are they looking for actual payment? What exactly are they looking for in terms of redress?
So, Alicia, according to normal competition processes, is that it is not prosecution that they would need where someone would go to jail. No, normally you would pay a fine, which is what some of the banks that have admitted to this, at least two of them who admitted to this, had paid a fine. So I can only imagine that should this case come to a different conclusion, a bigger fine would be sought. And in the previous papers, they had mentioned that what they wanted was a 10% of the revenue of these companies that are involved. So I can only imagine that this would, when they come to this conclusion, they would also need some sort of redress when it comes to that. But it's quite unlikely and unusual. Probably I've never heard of it that they would be taken to jail, but more paying a fine if they're found to be colluding or any anti-competitive behavior.
Absolutely, Liabo. We're going to leave it there for now. That is SABC News reporter Liabo Setho joining us live with a wrap of the first sitting of the Competition Commission there at the Constitutional Court in its matter seeking redress over, of course, the banks, the 28 banks that have been accused of colluding.